Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Allie and welcome to the top comment where I read and react to insane internet chaos in the form of Reddit stories. So if you like this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe. It is totally free and it means a lot to me. Happy Sunday everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This week drove me nuts. These stories absolutely made my head explode. On today's episode, we are talking about people who have not only the audacity, but also they're very entitled. So grab your stress ball, grab some snacks, grab some tea, grab a weighted blanket, because these stories are going to probably make your head explode, just like they did mine. RIP to my brain. But we're gonna get right on into it. Alrighty, babes. The first story comes from r/am I the a-hole? And it says, am I the a-hole for not letting my friend borrow one of my designer dresses for a wedding after she called me shallow for buying them? I'm a 26-year-old woman. I have a stable job, no kids, and I like to treat myself sometimes. I've saved up for a few designer dresses over the years. Nothing outrageous, just a handful of nice pieces that I wear to special events. I'm careful with them and they mean a lot to me because they're things I actually worked hard for. One of my close friends, Lena, who's a 27-year-old woman, has always made snide comments about my clothes. Stuff like, I don't get how you can spend that much money on fabric, or I could never be that shallow. I usually laugh it off, but honestly, it does get under my skin. She clearly thinks I'm materialistic, even though I've never judged her lifestyle or spending habits. Anyway, she's going to a wedding soon and texted me out of the blue asking to borrow one of my dresses. Immediately no. She's not going to bully you for what you bought with your own grown-up money, but then ask to borrow one? Ugh. No apology, no acknowledgement of the past comments, just, you have so many. I figured you wouldn't mind. I politely said no, explaining that I don't lend them out, especially for trips where I won't be there. She snapped back that I was being selfish and dramatic, and now a few mutual friends are chiming in saying it's just a dress. Screw you, Lena, and your whole friend group, girl. Get new friends. These people suck. Straight to prison. Anyways, I just can't help feeling like it's more than that. Why should she benefit from something she's constantly belittled me for? Girl, you are not the a-hole at all. I'm proud of you for sticking firm boundaries onto this little bitch. How dare she ask you if she can borrow something that she's constantly belittled? You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like she's jealous. People will oftentimes deflect their jealousy onto you when they're jealous. They'll say mean things about the things that you have because secretly deep down they wish it could be them. You're not the a-hole, but she's not your friend. And I'm sorry to be the one to say it, but your whole friend group, they all gotta go too. Throw them in the trash. You deserve so much better. It sounds like you're successful and you're living your life and you're buying yourself things that really matter to you. You can't just insult someone else's lifestyle to the point where you feel like you have to come on Reddit and defend your spending. Girl, you are a grown woman. Spend your money however the fuck you want. She's not just gonna come up on here and insult you and then come shopping in your closet for free like it's not a big deal. Maybe try being happy for people. And even if she was happy for you, no, you shouldn't lend that dress out. It's gonna get ruined. It's gonna get ruined. And then she's gonna come back and say, oh, I ruined it. Somebody spilled wine on me. Wah, wah. And then what happens? You're out a dress. You're out a friend who wasn't your friend in the first place. So is it really a loss? Don't lend it out. You're not the a-hole. Let her figure it out. Amazon exists. She can go to Target, but she can't borrow your designer. Period. End of story. Straight into the trash with her and the rest of the friend group. But let's see what the comments say. The top comment says, not the a-hole. I wouldn't want you to look shallow after all. You should get something that's more you. That has 24,000 upvotes. Iconic. The next comment says, that is not a friend. No, baby girl. That's not your friend. You don't want to be friends with her anyways. You should be friends with people who lift you up and support you, not people who insult you and then think that they can play Barbie in your closet after they've just insulted the clothes. Get over yourself, Lena. Someone else says, oh, definitely not the a-hole. And when you ask her to replace it, it'll be, what's the big deal? It's only a dress. You can afford to replace it anyway. Why are you being so greedy? Absolutely not. Someone else replies to this comment and just says this. She would never pay that much for fabric, so she's already told you she won't pay for it if she damages it. That's exactly what I said. She's gonna go and ruin it. And then all of a sudden, you know what? 10 years later, you're gonna see her on Instagram and you're gonna see her wearing that exact same dress that she claimed was ruined. Guaranteed. She sounds like the worst type of person. The last comment says, yup, and Lena isn't your friend. She's a bully. If this is how all of your close friends treat you, it's time to look for new ones. You're not the a-hole. Reddit says you're not the a-hole. You just have to get better friends. The next story we're going to read comes from Petty Revenge. It is 21 hours old, so it is fresh and piping hot, and it says, changed seats when I checked in for our flight. I've been on vacation / a shit show with my best friend this week, and she's been horrible to me. Despite me paying for most of the trip, I'd offered to bring her along because I knew she was having a really tough time in several areas of her life and knew she could use a break, but I definitely learned a new grown-up lesson the hard way to leave messy people at home unless you want them to bring their mess with them. Oh my God. Anyway, we leave tomorrow. The vacation I saved and paid for was absolute trash. The least I could do was rebook her seats away from me so that she's in the center seat, last row, right next to the shitter on a long-ish flight. I pray she also has a couple of screaming toddlers in her ear, and frankly, it's going to be a long time before I'm interested in seeing her again. It's not great revenge, but it's definitely petty. Hey, I personally think that's great petty revenge. I think that's fantastic. The back of the plane is the worst. If you know, you know. It's bumpy. It's stinky. You have to hear the toilet every single time it flushes. You're the last to get any snacks and drinks. I mean, it sucks. I hate sitting in the back of the plane. It makes me anxious personally. So yeah, she did deserve that. If she's going to go on your vacation and completely trash it, I'm going to give you some unsolicited advice because that's what I'm here for. If she is ruining your trip, all right, I assume this was like a good couple of days. The first day that she does it, you're welcome to give people a couple of chances if you feel so inclined. If she doesn't shape up after those chances, you leave her in the hotel room. You leave her in the hotel room while you go enjoy your vacation. You say, you know what? You have a place to stay. You can get food. You're going to stay here on your own. I get you trying to be a good person, but your backbone is looking more like a doormat to me than an actual backbone. So stop being such a people pleaser. I would love to know the details on this. So as always, stories are linked in the description. And if you guys see an update, comment and let me know. Tag me because I need to know the details of what exactly she did. I need to sit here and drink this tea with you guys. So let me know, but we're going to jump into the comments. The top comment says, you didn't do anything. It was a glitch in the system. Petty revenge without them even knowing. See, the best petty revenges are the ones that read like poetic justice, especially if the person never finds out. I mean, it depends. If you want her to find out, that's one thing. I'm the type of petty that if you're going to do me wrong, I'm going to be petty and I'm going to let you know that I'm being petty because I can't help it, but to each their own on it. For sure. Comment below. Are you guys like an outwardly petty person or are you more silent petty revenge? I don't know. I think it kind of depends on the circumstance, but also OP, you said it's going to be a long time before you want to hang out with her again. Never hang out with her again. Never! Be done! She ruined your vacation. She couldn't put her shit aside for 30 seconds and be like, wow, this thing you're doing for me is so nice. Let's go have fun. Let's forget about all the mess. Don't bring the mess with you. Leave it in TSA pre-check, bitch. Don't ruin somebody else's time. I hate that for you. But also, you let her ruin it. You could have just left her in the hotel room. Please, OP, darling, if you are out there, we need context. We need details. I'm begging you. Someone else says, that's the best revenge. Ice cold and right next to the toilet. Yeah, ice cold next to the bathroom. He even wished toddlers on her. And if you've ever been around a toddler on an airplane, God bless our souls. It is one of the worst experiences. And I don't feel sorry saying that. If you're a parent and you have toddlers, you already know that I'm being honest. So Don't lie. We know it's bad when they sit there and scream. And I know they can't help it, but oh God, it just seems to echo off the plane everything. And that's why we have headphones. And if you don't have headphones, what are you doing in 2025 without headphones? Ask for earplugs. I think they still give out earplugs on planes. Probably solutions, I guess. Someone else says, oh, I'd want her to know it was me who did it. Don't blame it on a glitch in the system or anything. If she ever asks, you just let her know that it was you. Say, this is what you get for ruining my vacation. Hey, at least she didn't book her own ticket, like her own flight, so that way you could do this. I mean, this is fantastic. This is poetic justice. The last comment says, you never truly know someone until you've either lived or traveled with them. I learned that the hard way too. Agreed. Especially living with someone. Oh God, I don't even want to get into that right now, but you really think you know someone until you invite them into your space, especially when it's a partner and then it ends up just blowing up in your face. Ugh. Nightmare fuel. We live in a crazy world and sometimes you just have to out crazy it. So I hope her flight was miserable and I hope she very much gets the picture. Sometimes people like this don't get it though. Sometimes you genuinely have to go to them and be like, you f***ed up. And then they still don't get it. So OP, you're better off without her. Move on. She too can go in the trash with Lena and all of her little bitch friends. All right, the next story comes from Coworker Stories, and it says, my coworker labeled her lunch, do not eat. There was a silent war in our office fridge, stolen lunches, mystery bites, and passive-aggressive Post-its. Mystery bites? Are you telling me that people are just going into your work fridge and taking a bite out of somebody else's food and then putting it back? Ugh. I am not okay with that. I already have some food problems, okay? If you touch my food like that, I'm gonna throw up. Is that what you mean by that? Mystery bites? Ugh. One day, a coworker labeled her Tupperware in all caps, do not eat. I licked it. The next day, someone else put their lunch next to it with a label that says, I dare you. People just started checking the fridge just for the drama. By Friday, there were fake labels everywhere like cursed lasagna and contains divorce energy. No one knows who started it, but the theft stopped. Out of fear? Respect? Who knows? But the break room has never been more entertaining. That is hilarious, but I really think we need to revisit this mystery bites. Are you kidding me? Don't take a bite of somebody's food and then put it back. What is wrong with you, you filthy animals? That is disgusting. You know what? I'm not a food thief, but if I was and I went there and I saw that somebody had licked it ahead of time, I best believe that person full on licked their bread before putting it on the sandwich just to f with whoever was doing this. And honestly, respect. I respect it. The top comment says, I used to put my boss's initials on my soda cans and they never got taken. Okay, now you're outsmarting everybody. You're outsmarting everybody because your boss obviously knows that he didn't do that. He obviously knows that those aren't his sodas, but nobody else is going to mess with it because who's going to steal from the boss? That is next level genius. Proud of you for that one. Someone else says, it's been years, but I once labeled my lunch live tapeworm experiment. It freaked people out and that was the point. Ugh, live tapeworm experiment. Oh my God. You guys are crafty and creative and clever. You guys already know I've never worked a job where I've had to communally share a fridge with anybody else. But if I ever do, I'm going to keep some of these in mind if people start stealing my food because live tapeworm experiment, so gross. Someone else says, my brother used to carry his lunch in a styrofoam cooler. In a styrofoam cooler that boar semen had been shipped in, complete with the company logo on it. What did I just read? What did you just say? How did he get the cooler in the first place? How did he get this? Oh God, I'm done. I need a break. Someone else says, one of my, call him older journeymen, had a nasty habit of just grabbing things off of shelves without really looking too close, and his wife packed his kit so he never knew what he was going to be eating. Turns out he ate his whole lunch before noticing it was almost identical to his, but not. Just ate some other dude's lunch, left a 20 in it with a sorry note and put it back. Same dude who microwaved potato salad that was wrapped in foil and tripped the breaker for 4 microwaves microwaves. Miss that guy. Okay. Plot twist, I guess. At least he left $20. I mean, that's the nicest thing you could do. That one sounds like a genuine accident. Not intentional, like buying boar semen just to use the cooler. What was he doing with it? The last comment says, kinda sad y'all had to resort to psychological ops just to eat in peace. Hope whoever started it is getting free therapy with HR. Hey, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. You have to outsmart them. Always be 10 steps ahead. Sometimes you just have to give into the game in order to protect your peace. Some guy parked across 3 handicap spots and left his windows open. This just happened yesterday. In late April, I hurt my foot and ankle, which required surgery, so I was given a temporary handicap place card for my car. I went to Target to pick up some groceries in the middle of the afternoon when I knew it would be dead, except that a single car was taking up 3 spots parked horizontally across 3 lanes. A very nice Porsche just sitting there with no tags, no place cards, and the passenger side window wide open, just like an invitation. I grabbed some dirt and gravel from nearby and lightly sprinkled it all over the passenger seat for theatrics. Hell yeah, good for you. You show that midlife crisis mobile. Then I went inside and told the front desk I thought I saw a raccoon slip into the Porsche, hogging the handicap spots. They announced over the intercom, asking the owner to come up. I stayed within viewing distance to see what would happen. When a dude, of course it was a dude. Not all men, but it's always a man. It's always a middle-aged white man too, to be blunt. When a dude practically ran over, yelling about his car and calling the employees names for lack of pest control, clearly pissed and yelling. Not after long, a big ass biker looking security guard showed up. Then he called parking enforcement to handle the parking violation. He was also banned from Target for his conduct. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, old man. Meanwhile, I doubt there was any sign of a raccoon in his car. Edit for the people who have trouble reading, there was never a raccoon. God, you guys, do better. Edit number 2 says, for everyone saying it's impossible for a Porsche to take up 3 spots, from a comment below, I don't know what to tell you. It looked like a sleek SUV. I don't know much about other cars, but I saw the word Porsche written on the back and it looked nice. It was parked in the middle of 3 spots and the ends were jutting into each other's lane. Never put it past a middle-aged man to park his penis car in the most inappropriate spots. There is somebody at my apartment complex who drives like just the fuggliest truck in the entire world. It's all like big and souped up and chunky, and it looks like it has hips. It looks like it has fat hips, and I hate it. I hate everything about it. I think it's like up there with Cybertruck level fugly, and you guys already know how I feel about Cybertrucks. And he always parks in the fire lane, and I'm just like, you are so dumb. What is wrong with you? Don't park your stupid ass car where it doesn't belong. Okay, especially in handicap spots, you deserved that. I hope his car got towed. I hope that they dinged it up when they towed it. And then to also call the Target staff names. You know, I have a real good picture of this guy in my head, and it is not pretty. And I'm sure it's, you know, what you guys are all picturing too. You know, the big, buffy, 65-year-old man with the white hair and the terrible leather skin who clearly is like on the verge of getting skin cancer. Yeah, that's who I'm picturing. It's not pretty. You're an asshole. The top comment says, I used to drive a tow truck. I was always slammed, but never too busy to relocate handicap parking violators. Security had me on speed dial. I was once in and out in, I guess, about 20 seconds, and the impound sheet was signed. Sorry, not sorry. Dickhead deserved to be treated like they treat others, disrespectfully with extreme prejudice. I made a lot of money with that alone. Again, sorry, not sorry. Someone else just says, you were doing God's work there. I agree. Don't park in handicap spots if you're not handicapped. Think of the elderly and the disabled. Shout out to the elderly and the disabled. Don't park in their spots. Okay? They already have it hard enough. Be nice. Be kind. Be courteous. Be a human being. I'm sorry I've cursed so much in this episode. This is probably like half duck quacks, isn't it? Someone else says, I used to work at a retail store. 20 feet outside the front building was a large pole holding a billboard that was like 50 feet high. There was a very entitled man who would always park his Porsche in the handicap spot right under the sign. One day he left the top down on his car, and while he was inside, his car got carpet bombed by pigeon shit all over the interior of his car. I made sure to be outside when he came out with his bottle blonde trophy gal. Priceless. See? It's always a man, isn't it? Someone else says, I regularly work overtime in my role as a law enforcement officer for my city's parking division. Officially, we're patrolling the various city-owned garages and lots to prevent and deter theft and vandalism. In the course of those patrols, I have about 50 total handicap parking spaces and about 24 fire hydrants I check on. I've never written a ticket except for handicap violations and obstructing a hydrant. Always fun when the driver shows up halfway through my writing and says, wait, I'll move it. Sorry, too late. You are absolutely free to go. However, your vehicle is detained until my citation is finished. Don't park where you're not supposed to. If you're not okay with walking a couple of extra steps, don't go out. Y'all are absolutely buckshit wild. This is crazy. The audacity. Grow up. We are all adults. These are adults doing this. It's always, not all men, but always a man. The last comment just says, as a disabled person, thank you. There you have it, folks. The people of Reddit have spoken. I know it wasn't an Am I the A-hole post, but that guy is a huge a-hole. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go tap on his windshield a couple of times. I don't know what happened. It just, up my wrist, look, it's possessed. Oh well, not my problem. Am I the a-hole for silently changing my son's name after my brother and sister-in-law gave my nephew the same name too? I'm already gonna clock this one as hell no. What type of weird people want their cousins to have the exact same name? That's just bizarre. My wife and I had our son 4 months ago. We had a name chosen early in her pregnancy. We kept that name to ourselves, but my sister-in-law, married to my brother, found out when she was still pregnant with my nephew, who's almost 7 months old. She never said how. She just told us she loved the name and congrats, and she couldn't wait to meet him. We assumed she snooped because she was not told. I even mentioned it to my brother, and he said that his wife does like to browse through people's things like it was no big deal. What? She just like goes to your house and like browses through your underwear and sock drawer? Kind of weird, but whatever. Then when my nephew was born, they announced his name and it was the same name we chose. First, middle, and last name. My brother called right after sister-in-law posted the announcement and he told me to keep quiet because his wife had a rough birth and she didn't need the drama and he knew we might not like it, but she really wanted the name. Entitled doesn't even begin to cover this. And hormones aren't an excuse. Her reason, my brother and I have matching twin-like names and sister-in-law wanted to connect our two boys by giving them the same name so they were each other's namesake. My wife and I talked it over and we decided to pick a different name, but we pretended to keep the original name until there was zero risk of sister-in-law changing my nephew's name. 6 months after a birth is harder to make a change in our state. We only started telling people the true name last week. My parents and sisters said it made sense. Friends and my in-laws understood why we did it. My brother told me I upset his wife by silently doing this shit and taking away her choice to match the boys. Oh my god, this lady is crazy. He told me it was a dick move. I told him his wife using the full name we chose was a dick move. I asked him if he considered how much tougher it would be with both boys enrolled in the same schools with the very same name. Not to mention banking, doctors, dental, all kinds of stuff. He told me plenty of people have the same name and it's not a big deal and it's harder to mix shit up nowadays and we're just trying to gatekeep names. I think he's crazy. I do too. So does my wife. She said he clearly doesn't want sister-in-law mad, but am I the a-hole for what I did? Like, are we weird for thinking this kind of stuff? I'm sorry that you have been so gaslit by this crazy witch that you think that you are the problem here. You're not the problem. Sister-in-law's the problem. Brother's the problem. They gotta go. How dare you be so entitled to steal somebody else's baby name? That just makes you look insane. Insane, delusional, crazy, jealous, narcissistic. Should the list go on, or do you guys have a pretty good picture of this? No, you're not the a-hole. No, you're not the a-hole. Not one bit. I'm sorry you didn't get to use the name that you chose, but good for you for being a good sport and not just going along with it. This is really weird. This is really weird, strange behavior. And I hate it when people are saying, you're gatekeeping a name. They're not gatekeeping. They just didn't want to tell people. They wanted that moment to be special for themselves. Why you got to sit there and ruin it? Why do you have to steal their name? And then snooping to find it? Sorry. Your brother is a basket case and your sister-in-law is a basket case times a basket case. The top comment says, definitely not the a-hole. Your brother is outraged that you took away sister-in-law's choice to match the boys. What about the fact that she took away your choice to have an individual name? By invading your privacy nonetheless? He's fine with that, I assume? And then OP responds to this and says, he acted like it was no big deal while I'm thinking I need to keep a closer eye on her in the future. Ugh. Horrible. I'm sorry that she did this. This is really weird behavior and she kind of sounds like a stalker. Hi Joe kids, hi Joe wife, hi Joe baby names too apparently. Someone else says, yeah, lock the doors when she's over from here on out. Agreed. Someone else says, not the a-hole. Keep an eye on your brother as well, given that your brother is so invested in his wife's visit to Crazy Town that he's bought her the penthouse suite. He may be willing to snoop on her behalf. Information diets for both of them from now on. Yeah, if you don't want to cut them off, you need to keep them on a very short and tight leash. Just keep these people at arm's length at all costs. The last comment says, not the a-hole for not letting sister-in-law dictate names. Her snooping was low-key whack. Your boy deserves an identity that's uniquely his. Screw the name cloning drama. He does deserve to have an identity of his own. Imagine what that would do to a kid. That would probably screw both of their kids up. Or one of them would just start going by like a nickname. But even then, ugh, that's so bizarre. And then imagine being the teacher and like having these two cousins in the same class, because obviously they're such a similar age that like they could be in the same classes growing up. Imagine the teacher reading it twice and then potentially even skipping it during attendance because she's like, oh, it was just put on there twice. I mean, your sister-in-law, go to therapy, girl. Get some help. Okay, you clearly need it. And brother-in-law, you need to stop being such a whipped little you-know-what for your wife. This is creepy, crazy, weird territory. Reddit also said you're not the a-hole, so you know what that means. You are free to go, my dear. No charges for you today. The next story we're gonna read comes from r/entitled people, and it says, my friend said I owe her half my inheritance because her family didn't have that. See what I mean when I said grab your stress ball? If you don't have your stress ball, go get it right now. We'll wait. Did you get it? Are you squeezing it? You should. Squeeze it real good, because this one is equally as bad as the title makes it seem. So my great aunt passed away and left me a decent inheritance. Nothing wild, but enough to pay off my student loans and set aside a little in savings. I told my friend, we'll call her Rachel, over lunch. She got really quiet. She then said, wow, must be nice. I bet you'll help out your friends who weren't so lucky growing up, right? I laughed and said something like, I mean, I'll probably treat my friends to dinner more often. She stared at me and said, dead serious,
no. Like, actually help. We've known each other forever. I think it would only be fair if you split it with me.
I thought she was joking. She was not. She then brought up all the times she covered my coffee in college and said, this is just the universe evening the score. Needless to say, I didn't share a dime. She blocked me on Instagram and told our mutual friends I ghosted her after I got rich. Sorry, Rachel. The only thing I'm splitting is the check with people who actually support me. With friends like these, who needs enemies? Oh my God, what a nightmare. How entitled do you have to be to say that to somebody? Maybe I'm just a rare breed, but if one of my friends was like, hey, my auntie passed away and she left me enough money to pay off my student loans, I would be stoked for you. I would literally be so happy for you. I can't imagine being like,
give me half of the money.
What is your problem, Rachel? Do you not have brain cells? Are they not functioning? Oh God, the entitlement is so thick. I feel like I just walked through a wall of hazy entitlement to get here. And then she went off and told your friends that you ghosted her after you got rich. Oh my God. The entitlement. The top comment says, this is why you keep finances to yourself. Yeah, I mean, I'm conflicted because if this happened to me, I would definitely tell my best friends. I would absolutely tell my best friends. And it sounded like they were pretty close ahead of time, but you just kind of have to read the room on what it is, I guess. I don't know. I would tell my friends because I know that they would be supportive. They would be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then I would be like, yeah, let's go out and let's celebrate. Like, let's go get a nice dinner together. Treats on me. That's how I would handle the situation personally. But I also have really amazing friends. So I don't know. I don't know why people have to share stuff like this with friends or family members. It's not their business. For every one person who will be happy for you and never dream of asking or expecting you to share, there are 10 who think you don't deserve it, shouldn't keep it all, and should definitely give them some, or think just because you stupidly shared some information, you now owe them somehow. See, my circle is really tight. I don't even know 10 people. I would never sit there and be like,
Give me half. It's only right. Remember I paid for your coffee in college?
Rachel, I'm so disappointed in you, girlfriend. You could do better, and you chose not to. This is weird behavior. Maybe not as weird as the sister-in-law stealing the names, but it's definitely up there in terms of weird, entitled, and goes under the category of you should have kept your mouth shut. But hey, at least now you know her true character and you know who she really is. That way you don't waste any more of your time and energy trying to people please for her. The next comment says, it's really crazy that some people just offer up sensitive information for no good reason. What do you guys think? Would you tell your best friends if like something like this happened to you and you were like, oh my God, I was able to pay off my student loans? Maybe I know I have really good friends, but maybe, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you tell people? Would you not tell people? I would only tell my besties. I wouldn't go like tell somebody that I'm like just casual Instagram friends with. Like I wouldn't tell my coworkers or anything like that, but my best friends in the whole world. I mean, we also share everything together, but comment below. What would you do? The next comment says, my husband and I were discussing possibly taking the kids to Disney World, not even making the plans necessarily, but kicking the idea around. My sister-in-law heard it and somehow called a family meeting and went completely off on us, saying that we can't do that because she didn't have the money to go as well. She wasn't even taking it like she would expect to go with us, just that we flat out couldn't take a vacation because she couldn't afford to take her kids on a vacation. She felt like it would make her look bad for not being able to keep up with the Joneses. She even gets mad if a friend or family member has a car that costs more than her, a house, jewelry, anything. It just blows my mind. That's your sister-in-law, dude? Trash. Absolute entitled trash. Imagine looking at somebody and saying, you can't have that because I don't. Go work for it. Get your butt up, girlfriend, and go work for it. And if you don't want to work for it, stop bitching. Tired of this. Okay? It's people like you that make Reddit go round. The last comment says, if you have to hide information from a friend because you think they will try to take advantage of you, then that's not a friend. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. If you can't talk about finances to your friends and family without them feeling owed or jealous, then you need to find better people. There you go. I agree with that. If you are an adult, just make those judgment calls. Use your brain and make the judgment call and say, can I tell this friend that I'm going to go to Disney World? Can I tell this friend that I'm going to go to Hawaii? Can I tell this friend that I'm walking a red carpet? And if they're not going to be excited for you and like so happy for you, don't waste your energy on them. Don't waste your time and energy on people like that. I have learned my lesson like that so many times. Whatever. I don't know. Karma's a bitch, but kind of seems like jealousy has her beat. The next one we're going to read also comes from r/entitled people. And it says, entitled neighbor wants me to move my Wi-Fi router for her signal. So my neighbor knocks on my door yesterday and says her Wi-Fi signal is weak in her bedroom. I'm thinking she wants the name of my provider or something. Nope. She actually asks me to move my router closer to our shared wall so that she can get better reception from my network. I tell her it's password protected and not for public use. She says,
well, yeah. I mean, I figured you wouldn't mind sharing since I'm only using it to stream at night. Duh.
I ask her why she doesn't get her own plan. She shrugs and says money's tight and you probably don't notice the difference anyways. Oh my God. The craziest part, when I say no, she just accuses me of being selfish and storms off. Like, what? You don't just expect free internet from your neighbor and then get mad when they say no. I'm honestly tempted to rename my Wi-Fi network Get Your Own Wi-Fi just out of spite. Has anyone else dealt with something like this? You absolutely should sit there and name it Get Your Own Wi-Fi. That's the type of petty revenge that is fantastic because then she has to sit there and look at it. She doesn't even have to get her own Wi-Fi. She can just get a booster because it sounds like she already has Wi-Fi. It just isn't strong enough to reach her bedroom. Get a booster. Move your own router, girl. What's wrong with you? One of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody plants firm boundaries of no, which by the way, I learned in therapy, no is a complete sentence. No means no. It doesn't mean maybe. It doesn't mean ask harder. It doesn't mean try again later. It literally means no. So for her to double down and stand on business like that, next level crazy. She is unhinged. And then to get mad at you too when you say no, like, did she really expect you to say yes? Like, oh my God, girl, sure, just go ahead and use my Wi-Fi. No, I don't think so. I wouldn't share my Wi-Fi with my neighbors. I just wouldn't. So you shouldn't either. And neither should you watching. Don't you share your Wi-Fi. Password protect that shit right now. You check your Wi-Fi. If it's not password protected, go password protect it. Be safe out there. We live in a crazy world. The top comment says, rename that thing to not your Wi-Fi and set the password to pay your own damn bills. I really think you should change it. A bunch of these comments are suggesting that too. Someone else says, name it free public Wi-Fi, but have it password protected. That'll teach her. I can only imagine the frustration she endures trying to connect to it. You should really be petty about this. This is the perfect time for you to be petty. And I think you'll feel better just getting a little bit of satisfaction out of it, knowing that she's sitting there frustrated and mad that she can't get on your Wi-Fi. Someone else says, you're not selfish. She's just mad that her freeload failed. Rename that thing to no free bites for you and watch her go insane. You need to be petty, babe. If you're out there watching this, please go be petty. And then please update us in the comments. Someone else says, send her a Venmo request for 70% of the Wi-Fi bill. If she pays it, send her the password. Change it at the start of the month and repeat. Or if you don't want to share, that Wi-Fi name sounds great. I would want to share with her. Can't people like hack into your bank accounts and stuff from your Wi-Fi? Maybe I don't know anything about anything and, you know, comment below, but I'm pretty sure she can like steal your stuff. So make sure you're protected. Don't share with this woman under any circumstance. She is clearly freeloading. The last comment says, I did exactly this once. They were so pissed. I could hear the screaming and cursing through the walls when they realized they couldn't get in. The best part is that I still have no idea how they were using it in the first place. I feel like hacking has just like really become scary. I feel like we should all be changing our passwords like every couple of months now, especially with those leaks. Oh my God, those leaks are so bad. Do you guys ever get those like spam texts that are like, you have an unpaid parking ticket for $182 and you're gonna get your license revoked and go to jail and die? Those are from leaks. Those are from like data leaks with like security and stuff. So like, let's all change our passwords every couple of months because otherwise, I don't know, you might have crazy people knocking on your door saying, your Wi-Fi is not good enough in my bedroom and I've been using it for months. Can you just scoochie a little? No! I had to kick my brother out of my house because he wouldn't stop pretending to be disabled. My brother, who's a 38-year-old man, so this is a full-grown man, you guys. My brother faked a back injury for 6 years. At first, I believed him. Everyone did. He wore a brace, walked slowly, grunted when he sat down. He applied for disability but got declined multiple times, probably because he could still play soccer with his friends and sneak in late-night gym sessions. Ugh, God. Last year, after our mom passed away, I let him move in temporarily because I knew he was in too much pain to keep working. Then he installed grab bars in my bathroom and told people I was his full-time caregiver. I came home once and I found him playing VR boxing, like literally punching the air and sweating. The final straw was when I took a work call on Zoom and I heard him screaming, I can't walk, in the background. He later told my boss, who he bumped into at a store, that he had a spinal injury and that I helped him get to the toilet that day. Well, that was a lie. I never helped him do anything. I told him to pack his stuff and go. Now my family is mad at me. They say I'm heartless, but I spent 2 years watching some guy scam me and now I'm the bad guy. No, you are not the bad guy. This is called grifting. This is what Gypsy Rose does, okay? It's giving Gypsy Rose energy and we don't support her on this channel. That is disgusting. That's horrible. To fake a back injury just to have somewhere to live. Why don't you go get a job? You can get a job. You can get a job from home. You can work from home. You can do anything. Get on Rover. Go walk dogs. Get on DoorDash. go drive delivery food, especially if you're not actually injured. Not talking to the people who are actually injured, who like physically can't get a job. I'm specifically talking to this loser. What did they say his name was? There's no name for it, but you sound like a Brian. He crossed a line significantly by malingering and grifting. That's exactly what he's doing. Those things are probably mental health. So like he should probably see a therapist instead of a chiropractor if his back's not actually broken. But good for you for kicking him out. And it sounds like your family may not know the full extent. Hopefully you were able to get like some pictures and video evidence, because it is hard. Like if you were to go up to someone and be like, oh, they're faking their injury, I imagine most people are going to look at you like you have 3 heads. So hopefully you have some proof on this, and hopefully exposes himself or in one way or another at some point, and you're able to get your family back and live in peace. And if not, there's 8 billion people out in the world, baby. Somebody is going to want to hang out with you and be your family. Family is given, but it can also very much be chosen. And these people are choosing to be weird, be grifters. Your brother sucks. Watch him actually sustain a back injury someday, and then no one's gonna believe him. It's like, what is it? The Boy Who Cried Wolf? The top comment says, your brother crossed a line. You did the right thing by protecting yourself. You absolutely did. The next comment says, also, if her family feels so strongly about this, then they can take care of his ass. Step in line to get scammed next if they want to make OP feel guilty. Your family shouldn't make you feel guilty. They should do a little bit more investigating, and then if you're really being an a-hole, maybe if they want to make you feel guilty, if it's, I don't know, don't be mean to people. Let's just all be nice to each other. Be petty, but nice. Someone else says, no, you're not the a-hole. He's taking advantage of you and telling lies to those around you. Tell the family members who are upset at you that if you kicking him out bothers them so badly, then they can take him in. They probably don't want to take him in because they are probably in on the grift. They are probably very well aware of what he's doing. Someone else says, I had to kick my alcoholic father out of my house about 10 years ago, and I recommend you tell your family the same thing I told mine. Anyone who wants to complain is welcome to take him in and support him for the same length of time that I did, and then come back to me and tell me I'm cruel for making him leave. Not surprisingly, there were no takers. That's hard. I've definitely ran into my fair share of alcoholics before, and it is a very hard environment to live in. And sometimes tough love exists, you guys. I know it seems really harsh in the moment, but sometimes you just have to be very real with people and send them on their way, because at the end of the day, these are grown adults. These are not kids. These aren't kids. You don't need to be taking care of another grown adult. The only grown adult you need to be taking care of is yourself. The last comment says, you are, in their eyes, worse than the bad guy. You are the honest guy with boundaries. Amen to that. One of the things I've learned in therapy is that when you start setting boundaries, you notice a lot of people drop like flies out of your life. And it's very true. Nobody likes a boundary unless they know how to respect a boundary. And if they don't know how to respect a boundary, guess what? They don't need to be in your life. All right. Our bonus story today comes from Am I the A-hole? And it says, am I the a-hole for leaving a family barbecue when asked to help in the garden? On Thursday, I was invited to a family barbecue at my ex-wife's stepfather's house scheduled for today. Okay, so this is your ex-wife's stepfather? Okay, why are we hanging out with our exes? I brought barbecue sausages and prepared a homemade pasta salad and potato salad. Being good weather, I dressed in summery clothes and shoes, as did my girlfriend, who was also invited. When we got there, we were told that we each had to help first clear the patio of dog shit. My dogs were at home, so this wasn't even their mess. And then clear a space for the garden so that my ex-wife's stepfather could put a greenhouse in there next week. Oh, great. We just love cleaning up other people's dog poop and then digging a hole for their garden. What? After stating that I wasn't dressed for yard work and had just been expecting conversation and drinks and food on the patio, I declined to help. Instantly, everyone made it clear to me that I wasn't wanted if I wasn't going to help, so myself and my girlfriend left and found a nice country pub for dinner instead. I've gotten back home now, and kids of the adults who were there are now calling me names on social media and stating that I'm scared of hard work. Did I do the right thing after being lured there under false pretenses, or should I have stayed and potentially ruined a good set of clothes just to appease them? Huh? I'm in shock. No, you're not the a-hole. I want to know what's wrong with these people. First of all, it's your ex's stepdad. Do you guys have kids together? Why are we hanging out with our exes? Every ex that I have, I would not be caught dead with, and I can Well, I mean, if you have a good relationship, that's one thing, but then they're going to sit there and say that you're just avoiding hard work. Why are these children on social media? What are they, like 12 and 13? They're sitting there and saying, he picks his nose. He doesn't like hard work. What? Is this real? Listen, I would have left too, and I would block them. The entitlement and the audacity right now of these people. This has to be the only quality that they have about them. And I'm not saying quality in a good way. I'm just saying these people suck. The top comment says, my sister and her then boyfriend went to a housewarming party, dressed for a party, a bottle of wine in hand. And when they got there, they were given a paintbrush and were assigned a wall to paint. They left too. And then someone responds to this saying, yeah, it's called a paint party. It's normal, but it's also a paint party. People know how to dress accordingly, and then you feed them. Paint party? Comment below. Who's been to a paint party? What the fuck is a paint party? Are we just like asking people like, hey, come over and help me paint my house and I'll feed you dinner? That's fine. I didn't know there was like a term for it. A paint party? Okay, go off, I guess. Someone else says, not the a-hole. They are, though. You don't invite someone to barbecue and expect them to work like that. Maybe help move a chair or two to set up, but that's it. I'd contact them and tell them to get the kids to take down the social media posts, or you will tell the truth about their party. Why are there kids on social media? Kids don't belong on social media. You don't belong on social media till you're 18. Fight me. Eat me up in the comments below. I don't care. That is my opinion. Kids do not belong on social media. The internet is a scary place, as is the world, but the fact that they're just sitting there shit talking you, not a cute look for future employment. If nobody has told these kids recently, it's not a cute look. Don't do it. Don't be like Gypsy Rose. Look what she's doing on social media right now. It's so embarrassing. How are you not embarrassed? Oh, ditch these people. It sounds like you already dumped her. I want to know the reason why you guys broke up. Why is she your ex-wife? Huh? Why are you still hanging out with her? The hell is wrong with you? Sounds like you have a couple of screws loose, but you're definitely not an a-hole. Someone else says, not the a-hole. What the f? This is seriously weird behavior. Yeah, maybe your ex and her stepdad can go and hang out with the first guy's sister-in-law and brother. You guys can all just have one big crazy cuddle fest. This is my nightmare. These people are my nightmare. I already don't like being around a lot of people, but if people are gonna act like this, the block button is free, just so you know. The last comment says, I think the bigger question is, who in their right mind would accept a barbecue party invite from their ex-wife's stepfather and bring your current girlfriend? That entire dynamic would weird me out so much that I wouldn't have been there in the first place. That last comment, you deserve to be the top comment. I'm declaring you the top comment. Okay? Don't hang out with your ex. Very few people can make that work. And even then, I always question. I'm like, no, if any of my exes are watching this, I hate you and I'll never talk to you again. And that, my friends, is how you should treat entitled people. Cut them right off. Never speak to them again. Block their numbers and move on because you deserve better. Who do you guys think was the most entitled person from today? I still think it was the sister-in-law because that's just crazy. It's crazy. It's manipulative. It's stalkery. I mean, it just kind of has all of the little like sub layers of entitlement to it. But I want to hear from you. What do you think? One vote for sister-in-law stealing the baby name. That was, good Lord, she needs some serious therapy. And that's okay. Therapy's amazing. I love you. Thank you for watching this episode. Comment below and leave me a cute little pink heart in the comments if you made it to the very end of this episode. I love you guys and I appreciate your support so much, and I will see you on Tuesday for the next one. Bye!